In a world where global alliances are shifting fast, one economic bloc is quietly challenging the dollar's decades-long dominance. It's the BRICS alliance, consisting Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. BRICS has been gaining traction, and now it's making headlines with a bold new idea: a shared currency to rival the US dollar. But there's a twist. India, one of the founding members of BRICS, is pushing back. While Russia and China champion the plan, India is taking a cautious route, raising eyebrows across global markets. Why is India hesitant? Is BRICS currency a revolutionary move toward financial independence, or is it a geopolitical power play with hidden risks? Let's look at what BRICS is really about, who's backing the BRICS currency and why India is skeptical towards it, and how things could change. BRICS was formed as an alliance of emerging economies aiming to reshape global financial and political systems. Over time, the group expanded to include countries like Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. Together, BRICS nations now represent over 40% of global GDP and more than half the world's population. And now the bloc has their eyes set on a shared currency. The idea of a BRICS currency isn't just symbolic, it's deeply strategic. The goal? To challenge the dominance of the US dollar in global trade and finance. It could become a powerful tool for de-dollarization, allowing member countries to trade among themselves without relying on the greenback. It also opens the door for greater monetary independence from Western-led institutions like the IMF and the World Bank. Some versions of the plan envision a reserve currency backed by a basket of BRICS currencies. Others lean toward using digital platforms like BRICS for cross-border settlements. The idea gained momentum after sanctions on Russia highlighted the vulnerabilities of being tied to Western financial systems. Now, with China and Russia leading the charge, the bloc is exploring how to implement this bold vision. For Russia, the motivation is clear. Being kicked out from SWIFT payment system and pressured by Western sanctions, BRICS currency offers Russia an economic lifeline. Russia sees it not just as a financial tool, but as a matter of national survival and sovereignty. China, meanwhile, views the proposal through a broader lens. As the world's second-largest economy, China has long sought alternatives to dollar dominance. A BRICS currency could help internationalize the yuan, expand its influence in developing markets, and offer a counterweight to US-led financial structures. Brazilian President Lula da Silva has voiced support for local currency trade and sees the BRICS platform as a way to boost regional cooperation. South Africa views it as an opportunity to strengthen the Global South's bargaining power on the world stage. Several new BRICS entrants, like Iran and Egypt, support the idea as well. Marginalized in the Western financial system, they see BRICS currency as a means to break free from Western pressure and gain more autonomy in global trade. However, India does not want to join the party. While the bloc pushes for de-dollarization, India has made it clear it's not ready to hand over monetary control to a supranational system. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has publicly stated that India has no intention of pursuing a BRICS currency, emphasizing the importance of strengthening the Indian rupee instead. One of India's main concerns is sovereignty. A common currency could dilute national control over monetary policy and tie India's economic fate to countries with vastly different fiscal and political systems. There's also the risk of China dominating the system, given its economic scale and political weight in the bloc. So, India's strategy focuses on practical alternatives. It has signed rupee-based trade agreements with over 30 countries, and is building digital payment links through platforms like Unified Payment Interface and Central Bank Digital Currency. These steps allow India to gradually reduce dollar dependence, but without compromising control. There's also a geopolitical layer. Despite being a BRICS member, India also holds strong ties with the West. Aligning too closely with a China and Russia-led financial initiative could undermine that delicate equilibrium. In short, India isn't against reforming global finance, but it wants to do it on its own terms. And for now, a BRICS currency doesn't fit that vision. So is India right to be cautious about the BRICS currency? From both economic and strategic perspectives, the answer appears to be yes. First, let's look at the economic reality. The BRICS nations are incredibly diverse, not just in size, but in how their economies function. Some run budget surpluses, others face chronic deficits. Some have stable monetary systems, others struggle with inflation and currency volatility. Creating a common currency among such different economies, without shared fiscal policies or a central governing authority, is an enormous challenge. The European Union's experience with the euro, even with its tightly integrated political structure, offers a cautionary tale. Then there's the issue of dominance. A BRICS currency, in practice, would likely lean heavily on the Chinese yuan. For India, that's a red flag. Substituting dollar influence with yuan dominance could be just as risky, if not more so, given India's strategic competition with China.
There's also the matter of flexibility.
India values its ability to adjust monetary policy independently. A shared currency or rigid bloc-wide system would limit that flexibility and expose the country to shocks from external partners. Therefore, for India, promoting the rupee in bilateral trade, investing in global digital infrastructure projects sounds more rational. It allows India to reduce dollar dependence without tying its hands. Ultimately, India's skepticism isn't a rejection of BRICS cooperation. It's a strategic decision to protect its autonomy while slowly shaping a more multipolar financial order. In a time of global uncertainty, that might just be the most realistic path forward. But remember, with all that being said, global politics have always been full of surprises. India's current stance on BRICS currency is not a certainty, and could change rapidly based on how things play out for them. For example, as of late August, US-India relations got a major strain when India declined to stop buying Russian oil despite US demands. In response, US increased their reciprocal tariff to 50% applicable for over 2/3 of Indian exports to US. India did not take this response lightly, and their foreign minister denounced US measures as unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable. At the same efforts of both India and China to restore their relations have been showing progress. In August 2025, China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi visited India to discuss peace efforts, while India Prime Minister Modi himself visited China after 7 years. How these recent twists of events progress would deeply reshape India's stance of BRICS currency. If the diplomatic tensions with the US expand further, there is a higher chance that Russia and China could convince India towards a common currency. Will their efforts pay off? Well, that part is yet to be decided. If you found this breakdown useful, please like, subscribe, and share your thought in the comments. See you next time.